So tell me about your Santa Claus thing. You playing Santa Claus today?
Yeah, the guy that was gonna play it his brother died recently, so he hasn't been taking care of himself that well, and he had like a diabetic episode. So he's out of the running. So they called in backup.
You know the story of Saint Nick, the original story?
Now let's hear it. Tell me about it. Tell me about it, Nicholas.
From what I remember, it was poor family. I think they were going to have to sell their daughters into prostitution or something. And old jolly Saint Nick came with a baggie of gold and threw it in their windows at night, allegedly. Something like that.
Hmm.
Secret Santa style, you know?
Yeah.
That's the Christian message of giving without putting your name on it. You know what I mean? What does God say? If you claim the generosity, that it does nothing for you. It's that Secret Santa, son.
Yeah. You think that's the case? I don't know.
Yeah, I think these all these TikTokers walking around giving homeless people $100 bills and turning around and smiling and stuff at the camera. I think you should probably just give that money away.
Are the people that give it to on camera too? Because if so,
There's some. I mean, there's some like I'm gonna go up to a homeless person, put a camera in his face. That's a hungry person, you know. I say just back off. But then there's this part where it's like generating money too, and it lets them keep giving, and that's kind of cool. But I think there's something about it that's a little off for me. I mean, they're doing good stuff, so it's hard to say anything. I think on a spiritual level, I think you're a demon, but that's fine. You know what I mean? That's where I'm at right now on it.
I
They
think
are
I
they
think
are fun to watch, though.
if we got problems with people giving their money away, then I don't know. I don't think we're in too good of a headspace.
So what's happened since the last time we got on?
Shit. I've been drawing an ant farm, all these tiny figures.
Kanye lost his mind. Remember that?
Oh,
Allegedly.
yeah. He's working through some stuff right now. Right?
I think he's working it out. I think the problem with him right now is I don't think when people get in, let's say if it is a bipolar state where you get close to God and you get crazy, you know, you get like a little touch of spiritualism and you start wanting to condemn those around you. I think what you got to do, as someone who's been in one of those states before, drug induced, I can tell you that the only thing that helped me through that was trying to be Christ like. And I think if you go to the Sermon on the Mount and he says, someone sues you, don't just give him your jacket, you give him your shirt too. He is going to, what he's doing is, if he thinks people have taken advantage of him in life, he has to essentially play out the allegory of Christ, where then when they go back and look at you, they can't point at you and you said, well, you said this, this, and that. And I think the power of that is then like everything the Christ teaching in a material sense does, it stops the spread of evil. That's the whole thing, right? It's like you got to forgive people you don't want to forgive. It's not eye for an eye anymore, right? It's love your neighbor much as yourself, which is impossible. It's all these impossible tasks. But what it does is it that person you hate, then you don't spread hate. Like I think Kanye can be used or painted to be shown to be spreading hate now. If he would have just let, if he would have played, if he would have let the victimization of him happen, if that's what he thinks happened, then he needs to humble himself, give more than what he's getting sued for, and then people will look at it. Instead, he's gone out and he's pointed fingers and he's, you know, painted people with broad brushes, the whole anti-Jewish thing craziness. Now he looks like a bad person, and now he looks like he could be spreading, you know, anti-Semitism or whatever bad stuff he's saying. I don't watch all the stuff. I only catch the clips, you know.
Hmm.
So what he should have done is completely humble himself and follow the teachings that he keeps saying. Oh, Jesus this, Jesus that. Well, you got to follow that stuff too, and that's really obviously no one can do it. It's really hard to do.
Yeah, I mean
But that
he was talking about that in his interviews, how he's like having threesomes and shit. He was drunk when he tweeted out some of this stuff, but he's like, I shouldn't have been drinking, and I kind of set this thing into motion, but oh well, I'm gonna ride with it.
Yeah, yeah. But it's craziness. But just as a concerned person to get himself out of it, he's got to go back to humble himself if it's not too late for him.
Well, I think he needs like a wise old man to guide him out of this,
He needs a Tommy Patterson.
And for some of that, the Bible will work, but he's a little too armored up with the God right now. He's
Well, he ain't gonna listen to nobody else. I think that's what I could gather from it.
yeah, that's his issue. His ego is out of control,
Yeah, it's
which
like
which is, when you hit that certain, like you said, it's the manic state he's in. If you look at his age and like what's actually going on, he's like in a little bit of a midlife crisis, I think, which has its own issues, right? Like your shadow self and all that. So he's going all in on the shadow self too, right? But so he's like flip side, all love, but he's over the top with the Jew hate and all that stuff. So
yeah,
yeah,
I agree. I agree.
he hadn't quite harnessed. He hadn't grabbed the reins yet. He thinks he has though. See when you're in that, he's like the Jekyll and Hyde state.
Yeah, he's oscillating back and forth. He's
Yeah,
pulsing back.
yeah.
Literally bipolar, going pumping back and forth all the time.
Um,
I hate being the guy that just says like I think there's some good benefits when you get to those kind of stages, like the times few
well, I
times I've
mean, that's how he's built his career, basically.
you can get manic, you can get creative, you can get there's a lot you can get really deep insights, like it's kind of like the veil of normality kind of washes away and you're like, what is going on here?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And when you start seeing that, the first thing you want to do is point fingers, but really you got to point them at yourself because so much of it is
And
really
the internet will definitely allow you to go to the craziest place you want to go.
yeah, yeah. He's got to take his own advice, just read the Bible, calm down, eat a bunch of lithium, I guess, or whatever they're trying to
Yeah.
pump him full of.
He's got to calm the fuck down.
Yeah, yeah.
I'll tell you, hopefully he figures it out. Has he done irreparable damage to his career? I think he's always been crazy, like the good kind of crazy. But I think he might be able to navigate his way out of
What I don't like, what I think, well, not that I don't like, what I think is unfortunate is if he does have these revelations and these epiphanies and get in touch with a little godliness and seeing some of those principles have real material value in the world. Well, he's got one of the biggest platforms mankind's ever had to spread that message with his art. And I think instead of doing that, he's gone. He's so polluted his potential grasp. You know what I mean? And I think that's unfortunate because I think he could have been a great voice for that kind of stuff. You know what I mean?
it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he kind of did fuck up his true goal.
I mean, God had kind of like I've dealt with this with my art, right? Like we talked about this a little bit last time, but it's like you're drawing all this violence and all this stuff, and it's like you can put the mask. It's like playing Halloween is how I look at it. You can put the moral story that you want to put in, and put all the guts and gore you want on top, but it's kind of like getting to the people at the level you're at and using what your interest is. It's like we listen to the song Christmas time, the little drummer boy, he shows up and he's like bum 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 bum, all I got is this drum for you, and he plays that song. That's literally what I think we're supposed to do. What do you want to do? Well, how can you do it better? And I think you can do it good, right? And I think God in the material world and good, I mean, good is God in the material world. God is good, right? Everybody says it. So if you push to a higher art or a higher storytelling ability or a higher craft, you are chasing some hierarchy of doing better, which obviously capitalism and meritocracy and all that kind of does that in itself. But you're kind of just like, so there's that battle. Like, am I supposed to pray all the time? Am I supposed to go out and be righteous? Am I supposed to? I'm like, he's like, if he was your father and he's called the father, and if you're a dad, you know, you only want what's best for your kid. You want them to do what they love and to be happy. So I'll take that little bit of knowledge I have from being a dad. I'll apply it to myself. And I think my dad would just want me to be happy. Now, is he going to be approving of everything I do? No. But is he doing it to spite me? No. He's doing it because he wants the best for me and he knows what's best for me. So I think that gives us a pass to do what kind of work we want to do, but do it at a higher level. And that's all you had to do. All he had to do is what he was doing, and not go down these weird rabbit holes of that's gonna, taint him for forever now, essentially. Maybe, I mean, I never know. Everybody likes a comeback story, so maybe he comes back from it, but seems iffy right now. A little iffy right now.
Yeah. I mean, if you're writing the story, I mean, this is the part that's not looking. It's not looking good
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah, if it's Save the Cat, the writing book. He thinks it's the part where the enemies close in, but we're seeing the part like that's one of the beats in every story. And this would be the whiff of death is where he's at right now. He is on a downward spiral.
Definitely a whiff. But hey, the guy come up and swagger jacked his wife and his kids from him. So I would be out of my fucking mind too.
I'll tell you what, though, I did see that tweet. I don't follow him. I guess nobody can follow him anymore, but I saw people sharing that tweet where his trainer was like, "How about we take your kids from you?" Whew.
Mm.
Ooh. Mm.
Yeah, I mean that's where like you know what, we should meet up, buddy. I'm in a I'm in a bad spot. I might need your advice
I'm in a bad spot with nothing to lose.
and get it and stomp his ass out. That's
I
what
know.
needs to be happening.
Thinking about toning up my thighs if we could hang out for a little bit. You know what I'm saying? What were you saying about taking my kids away? That's the line in society. Like, you don't go at. Speaking of which, you don't go after the kids, dude.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, people are missing that part of it. Uh, I think if they really focused on that part, they would be like, this is why he's going crazy.
yeah, yeah. You can't come after somebody's kids, dude. Here's the deal: you're gonna get lithium them up, or we gonna take them kids from you. Whew. And he's like, "Here's the deal: DefCon 3."
Yeah, yeah, I know what I would do if I was in that state. When your family's falling apart, dude, it's not a good spot. And like I said, the Jekyll Hyde archetype, that's where he's at right now. I remember going through a few issues of my own self. You're so full of rage, like I was like envisioning myself just going and flipping over the neighbor's car, just tearing up the neighborhood like Incredible Hulk style, dude. And it feels possible. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, everything's possible. You get in those manic states. Like, have you seen those people that there's that Unsolved Mysteries, the new one on Netflix. The first episode is the guy who I think he gets hit with some synchronicities, right? And he starts thinking M. Night Shyamalan's the man because he made signs, right? And it's kind of someone knocking on my door. That's kind of what it is. Like, you start seeing things that only make sense to you, like the world's communicating to you when you get in those crazy states. And this dude was thinking he was bargaining with God, and like wrote God a message like, "I want to come back 5 years younger. I want a little more money. I want this." And then he went and jumped off a building.
Oh, that's that Stansbury research guy. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Michelle watched that one recently. I was like, we've already seen it, but she didn't remember it, so she watched it again.
I'm like, that's the beauty of having the memory of a goldfish. Is, man, I can rewatch so many shows because I got no memory of them after very little time. Speaking of don't come after the children, did you buy any Balenciaga today? Or what?
No, man. Nah, I burn on my Balenciaga.
Um, I allegedly when he was wearing that black mask, Kanye was that was a Balenciaga mask. How crazy is that? Like if that's not self awareness,
That's
you know what I
total
mean?
self-aware. Like after I learned that fact about it, I'm like, okay, he's putting on some sort of performance here, and I don't know what kind of reconciliation is going on in his mind between his his personas, like his real self versus his entertainer self. It feels like he's trying to kind of maybe merge the two.
Yeah, but I don't think just you can do anything you want, ironically, or whatever he's doing. But I think what's happening is you are putting on a black mask, which looks crazy. You are now putting the black mask of a designer who is basically using children as, I don't know, something sexual marketing
Well, yeah,
in the nicest term, the nicest way.
yeah. I mean, you're not. Why would you want people to see kids like that? Like
Yeah,
there
yeah,
might be one dude out there that sees that and gets an idea in his head, like a virus that he can't get out. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah. I
Like,
mean, that's you can
oh,
say the same thing about Kanye and what the shit he's spouting too. You know what I mean? Like you can, who knows why he's doing it or what he's doing, but it ain't a good message to be spreading to the people you dig, or the people that dig you. They're not gonna get it. Some morons are not gonna even. Well, I don't even know if he's even making a statement at this point. Like he might just be fucked up.
well, yeah, it's all to do with the kids. That's my final answer, dude. That dude went in there and was banging his wife, and they got the kids at her place, and he's got to pay child support, even though she's like richer than he is. It's just, I don't know. It's weird. It's all weird. I'm glad I'm a fucking normal person. I can tell you that. Give me that all day. Did you see we got your girl back, Brittany Griner?
Oh yeah, they traded the arms dealer, the merchant of death. A heck of a trade.
Jesse Kelly's lighting it up. I don't know if you follow him.
No, I just saw it on and they said we traded a merchant of death, but they try to downplay it by saying he's really sick and old though or something. All right.
Well, like the rumor is that the Saudis helped broker this deal, right?
Oh yeah.
Well, supposedly we uh, were mad at the Saudis over what they did with OPEC right before midterms. They like outed Biden trying to make a deal to keep oil prices low.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
also weird though, right? Because this is like this. It's literally called a cartel, the oil cartel.
Yeah, we're supposed to and like it's crazy. Like if you don't think money and power run the world, you've lost your mind. Did you ever look that thing up about the Saudis did to that journalist?
Yeah, they sawed him into bits.
They, and to not make it messy, they were embalming him while they were
The
sawing him
the
alive.
the Saudis sawed him, bro.
Yep, hermetic. Um,
But
yeah, they sawed him up while his blood is turned to gelatin, dude, alive, so it wouldn't be too messy. And we are still going to deal with him because the money is the energy, is the power. Currency is literally current, just like electricity. It's all just currency is just the movement of power around. That's the conduit, baby. And they got the energy. That's why Trump and people want to produce our own energy, so we're not beholden to governments that are polluting the planet. If you care about the planet, that are breaking human rights violations, women rights. We're going to all these countries now and begging them for oil, even if they're chopping up our journalists that are just reporting honestly on them because they got the oil. So what are we doing but giving them power through currency to get some of their commodities? That's just the bottom line.
hey, Joe, well, I'm talking to Nick. Do you want in? You want to join us? If you have Skype, I'll send you, um, or I'll add you in if you want.
So it's all movement of like the power is the energy, right? And the money is the power. It's all the same. It's just broken up into different parts. And so if we have got to act with our dollars with in accordance to our essentially our constitution, but our at least our beliefs, and allowing China to pollute and going to them and asking for money or oil or whatever or cheap labor. I mean, it's just messed up, dude.
Well,
It's all
The
messed up.
Saudis are meeting with China right now. They met them at the airport yesterday, right? And I think this deal like all took place in Qatar, Qatar. And rumor has it that the Saudis helped broker it. Well, we were supposedly going to revoke arms sales to the Saudis, and then all of a sudden we got this arms dealer from Russia that's free, right? So it's almost like China and Russia are going to use this arms dealer to use the Saudi arms that we've been selling them, and this dealer is going to go get them from the Saudis. So basically, America is going to be selling arms to Russia to fight Russia. And if you think that sounds crazy, go watch Lords of War.
Oh yeah, Lords of War. That was good. Lord of War.
Yeah, Lord of
Nick
War.
Cage. Nick Cage movie. Oh, Nicky Cage. Yeah, it's a big game. I was thinking it was like, was that the guy? Is that the same guy? I don't know. Merchant of Death seems like a crazy nickname. I don't know if it's the same guy or not. Yeah, it's wild, dude. I don't know. Geopolitical politics. I just think that we need to act, everybody at a local level and a government level need to act in accordance. Like what you give your energy to, what you give your mind to, what you give your power to is what you're charging up. You sure you want to be charging up the governments that don't support the things you believe in? Seems ridiculous to me.
Yeah,
What do I know? I'm just a fat comic book artist.
but we left a Marine over there in the Pokey in the Russian jail, and everybody's like, "What the fuck, dude? We're getting a woman's basketball player back over a Marine."
Oh,
It's
did they really?
yeah. There's I think the guy that's leading the NFL in sacks right now tweeted about it. Just like he said, "Wait a minute, hold up," and then like 2 hours later, he's sending out an apology. Sounds like the regime got to him, bro. They're like, "Listen, dude, we'll start popping you with some steroid tests here in a minute if you don't shut the fuck up." Kind of like they're coming after your boy, Elon, and his
He,
Neuralink.
oh, he's got them monkeys chapped in now.
Yeah, dude, let me tell you something. 100%, Elon's gonna end up in jail if he doesn't bend the knee.
Whew. I don't know. I can't call that.
They don't give a fuck if you're a benefit to society. They don't care if you're like making, you know, rocket ships to fucking Mars. You fuck with their power structure, dude. They're gonna put you in jail. End of story.
That's the most alarming thing right now is how is okay, either every politician is corrupt or why is every politician right now getting the FBI and everybody after them? Like when this is crazy. Like the right will say that they're using it to weaponize the government against political enemies. Dude, that's like North Korea stuff. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. It's kind of what is happening. It's a untenable state, so we'll see what happens.
I don't know.
Everything is like all the news, like the whole, even the Brittany Griner thing, knowing we have a Marine that's over there in Russian jail for the same thing. It's all to demoralize. It's all to make you feel defeated and bad. And I'm not going to do that.
Well, I think that, and then that, and the big one is divide, right? The fact that we even label Democrat and Republican, just stick it to human stuff, you know?
Well, yeah, it's that Hegelian dialectic. the problem, reaction, solution. They create the problem, but they already have that solution ready. Or the Delphi technique. You
Oh,
can choose A, B, or C. Well, there's other answers outside A, B, or C.
you talking about Delphi? Delphi murders? You true crime fan like me?
Yeah, you were telling me about that. That shit's crazy, dude.
Well, first off, I guess we give some people, not that anyone needs a background since everyone's a true crime fan, but the Delphi cases, the two young girls, I think Abby and Libby were their names. They're on a trail, they're walking.
Literally the scariest found footage you'll ever see. Scarier than
This
any movie has ever done it.
it's pretty scary, and he's just a guy walking. And so what they did, it's crazy. We've
Uh,
talked
uh,
about
uh,
this.
dude, it's because you're filling out the rest of it in your head. You're imagining what happened to those little girls. You know.
Yep, yep. So what it is that one of the little girls caught the guy on her camera. She kind of held it at her hip and recorded him, and they released the still of the man, and they didn't say where it was from. Some people thought it was a trail cam. Some people thought it was a bystander, just like I took some pictures that day and this guy I found, but it turned out to be the little girl's camera who was murdered. They never released the whole thing. They never released the whole video, which was really good police work because this dude came in once he saw himself. Could you imagine being that killer and seeing himself on TV, sitting next to your wife watching TV in that small town? He had to go in and say I was on that bridge just to cover in case anyone could ID him. Well, he didn't know the little girl had the whole video, and the video is definitely of the killer because he says, they allegedly one of the girls says he has a gun and he tells the girls to get down the hill. So they get him in, and he says that he never saw him, and blah blah blah. Well, if they would have instantly showed the full video and the gun, he would have got rid of the gun in 5 years. He wouldn't have came in right away. He would have risked it that nobody would ID him. There's a lot of good police work there. But anyway, on Reddit, um, everyone for 5 years was going on and trying to figure out who this person was. A lot of the local people in Delphi, there was only 3,000 people in Delphi. 1,500 you'd assume are males. Another 30% of those, call it 500, would be in the age range. So now you're down to 500 or not even maybe 300. Then who would even be in that area? There's only a handful of people you got to look at after a while. So you get these locals coming in and chatting it up, and some guy comes in and he types and he says, um, he 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 types Richard, and this is like 3 years ago. He's like, oh, Richard, this and that, and I think he meant to write resident, but it was auto corrected. But it didn't matter. Just like on 4chan and on Reddit, once you say something like that, everyone's like, Richard who, Richard who, and by then the guy comes back, OP, original poster. I think that's what it's short for. Is that what it's short for when they write OP? I don't
Original
know.
poster, yeah.
Yeah. So OP comes back in and says, oh, I meant to write resident, not Richard. It auto corrected. Didn't matter because everyone who posted now, the synonym for the bridge guy was Richard, right? This is her medical, this is her hermeticism, the universe syncing up, whatever you want to call. Sure enough, 3, 4 years later, the suspect, what's his name? It's Richard, dude. He got auto corrected, found out, which is crazy.
That's just the most bizarre thing ever, dude.
I know. It's so crazy. Um, but anyway, so I don't know. It's a pretty fascinating case. It's insane that they didn't catch the guy before because he came in and basically corroborated everyone that ID'd him on the bridge because he said, "Oh yeah, I passed those 3 people. Oh yeah, I did that." Basically, so he put himself on the bridge at that time, but said he didn't see the girls. But then the girls got the video of him, and he's definitely got a set. They say he's got a gun, and he's definitely telling them to get down. Well, now he's lied to the police. They go in, allegedly, there's this, not allegedly, there is a bullet between the girls' bodies. That bullet has the ejection marks on it, like he cocked the gun back to scare him.
Hmm.
That bullet, uh, when a gun injects it, usually it's the shell casing when you shoot the gun, pin firing or down, or the bullet down the barrel, the unique markings. But they're saying this thing that comes out and pulls the bullet out of the chamber can make unique marks too, which could be flimsy. I don't know. But the main thing was is he put himself on the bridge. in retrospect, needlessly, because no one had ID'd him based on the grainy video. So I don't know. It's real brave of that girl to record that dude. It's kind of gut wrenching, you know. Nobody knows what happened to the
What year
girls.
did that happen though? I can't remember.
2017.
Really?
Yeah,
I thought it
2017.
was older than that. That's crazy.
No, on 2017, 5 years ago. On these days in internet life, just more information dumps out. There's so
Y-
many
y-
murder cases and
Yeah,
stuff.
dude, I can't keep track of all this shit.
Yeah,
Time's too fast right now.
I haven't gone down that rabbit hole, but there was that rabbit hole that time's speeding up. You know, there's some crazy internet videos about that. I haven't gone down that rabbit hole yet. But anyway, they caught this dude, so um, good. You know, good. Do I think he did it? Uh, I suppose yes. Do I think the Christian in me can be forgiving? That's where I got to say, you know, Jesus died for our sins. Some sins are, you know, you have to forgive me on this one, but kill that motherfucker. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I think I think he gots to go.
that's what my buddy said. He was like talking about was so many of these criminal cases are repeat offenders that are let out to do the same thing, usually to children too. Like just terrible. And you're
Bro,
like, how did you
they just turned a whole shitload of them loose out in California.
like how could you do this? How could you conceivably do this, man? Like especially knowing the recidivism rate. And you're just like so frustrated hearing these, like, oh, if he wasn't out on parole, he wouldn't have killed these other two people. That's people's whole lives, man. If it was your kid, your mom, your dad, your
Or
sister,
and then
your
like,
son,
you know, if you act on it, like Cain Velasquez, they put you in jail.
yeah, insane. His kids, why he was even able to go after that dude was because his kid's molester was out on parole or on bail. Ugh. Hard to stomach, dude.
Like, what? How much of a fucking pervert do you got to be that you're just like, I think I'm gonna molest Cain Velasquez's son? Like, you got to be fucking
I think
oh,
it was his daughter, and I think his daughter was like 4 or something like that.
mega pervert, dude. Either way, I think it was his son.
I think it was his daughter. I didn't really follow that case closely. I did follow it when old boy said, "I'm gonna go ahead and pull up and jack you up," though.
We got Gordon Goodbrother in here in The Art and Times of Jay Ryan. That sounds like one of those uh, thriller dudes. Jack Ryan?
The
Jack Re.
art, the art and times is good. I like that.
Yeah, he's myth building with his own name.
I say, yeah, it feels important already. I don't even know him. You got like what Tommy the comic guy? No one cares about. I don't give a fuck about what you say. This guy, you relegate yourself to non-important pulp media right off the bat. This guy's got life and times, dude. This guy's living an experience. This guy's life needs to be narrated by
Morgan Freeman. Morgan.
Morgan Freeman, but the documentary's got to be Ken Burns, you know, the PBS guy.
Mm-hmm. That little chicken neck. Yeah, I know who he is.
Oh, did they ever show him? I don't know if they ever show him.
Ken Burns?
Yeah,
Yeah,
he makes good documentaries.
I guess.
If you're patient, if they're kind of for old people, you got to be real patient on a Ken Burns. There'll be like 6 parts that are 3 hours a piece. Like I get it. There was a Civil War back in the day. Give
Hard.
me the give me the cliff notes, bro. It starts out with like Sarah Wilcox was on her porch one day when a Confederate soldier walked into her yard. She poured him a glass of tea. You know, it's like, oh God, this is gonna take a long time to get through this Civil War. You know,
Art and Time says there's a Laura Croft sex doll out there. He wants to borrow $3,000.
I like it. So you see this new AI system that's writing stories now too.
Yeah,
Ooh.
GPT or whatever chat.
Yeah, and they're doing good stories too now. Like, dude, it's gonna take like 5 months. 2 years, and they're gonna be writing novels.
I wish I had my old Twitter account back, dude. I'd just go fire off I'd just retweet myself all day long talking about this stuff. Adobe, how they have the Adobe Sensei thing, and how
I'm
the
saying though, but if you can get the kind of girl you like, you can put that brain, whatever kink you're into, getting your butt played with or whatever, and she's thoughtful and she talks. You mix that with Elon's, you know, housemaid that he's building, put on the skin of this Laura Croft sex pot, and you might have a perfect woman here in about 15 years. You know what I'm saying?
dude, that's your boy Huxley right there. It's Brave New World. Whatever, dude. That's what it's going toward. I'm the modern day Amish right now. I ain't getting none of that shit.
Yeah.
And if you piss me off just right, I'll fucking throw all my computer shit out and never get on the internet again.
I like my women with a pulse bra. That's where I'm at. I'm into Laura Croft necrophilia.
Well, it's like you got the oscillating we were talking about earlier. Yeah, the cars used to oscillate and vibrate. Now it's just wing. That's gonna be your future heartbeat. Like your boy Dick Cheney. He's got that. He didn't have a pulse, dude. He just has a whine. The motor is just spinning.
So you getting that brain implant?
Nah, dude. Art and Times of Jay Ryan, Mike. He wants to have virtual sex.
It won't be virtual, bro. As long as Elon can program it to nag a little bit, I got to get something normal. We know women love to nag. So you feel like you conquer something when you finally get into bed with Laura Croft. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You got Dick Treasure out that ass.
Yeah, you got to. I mean, if she's just there and accepting it, that's no fun. You got to tame the beast. That daily nagging that builds up sexual tension. Life and Times.
Ugh. Yeah, next time I stream, I gotta get it to where you can see my drawing. I don't, I don't know. I don't know that this content's gonna be selling anything.
What are you talking about? Us talking? Oh, you don't have your drawing set up? That's our whole aid.
No, it's just me on camera, sitting
So
in a
this,
sitting in a chair, hunched over my drawing board. I'm drawing, just
you should
nobody.
have put in at least put on the Santa mask while you did it.
Dude. So that I was thinking about that earlier. Ro- I want you. Can you get a Santa outfit over the next couple of weeks? We got to do a week long streaming back and forth.
Drawing with Santa Claus.
Yeah, dude. I want like a Santa battle. I was thinking about how hot it would be to do these short clips of Santa holding a gun, telling you to get your ass to the gym before everybody else does come New Year.
Oh, well, I'll sneak in December 15th to feel like I'm better than everybody.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
No, 100%, dude. You
I'm
got
not like I'm not like those other people. You know what I mean?
you got to go piss up the gym, mark your territory, so when they get in there, everybody's already like
Yeah, get the
stepping out of your way, making sure you're getting your turn.
they're uneasy, all timid. They ain't been there forever. Yeah, I know. Claim your territory right off the bat.
Yeah, they just walk up, and just take over their machine in between their sets, dude. As they're taking a little breather, just be like, "I think you're done, right?"
Go up and hit that water bottle that they got next to them. Slurp it down. I like that.
That's definitely a power move. Drinking somebody else's water at the gym.
You said Joe Ball wants to come in?
He was in here earlier for like a minute, and I told him who I was talking to.
And he bounced.
I ain't heard a peep out that motherfucker since.
He's mad. I told him I'd draw with him last night, but I fell asleep again. After all that huffing and puffing I did with you, after you blew me off, they said, "All right, Nick, we'll get on with you." I said, "All right."
I was on with the IRS dweebs, man, and only I wasn't. It was they lock you into a loop of automated telephone button pushing, dude, to punish you, and I hate it.
Well, they want you to break so they can just keep hitting you with interest. And they want you to get some money before you do anything. They ain't gonna come after you too hard until you get some money, something to take from you. In the meantime, that tab they put on you is just going up and up.
Yeah, so I'm about to pay them 9,300, but they owe me for 16 and 17.
They'll hold that back if you've already got a number they owe you, and they're supposed to credit it. Give them time, and they'll say they took it out of what you
Yeah, but
did.
now I don't know that the way we're going to be doing taxes, I don't know that I'll ever owe them again. I mean,
Oh, you mean just by doing them? You know what I mean?
so they might just have that money forever. Son of bitches.
You sound like a regular Kanye right now. Calm down. Who does run the Federal Reserve? What is run? Do you know anything about it? I don't know anything about it.
It ain't the government, I can tell you that. I know that
Yeah,
much.
I know it's an outside agency.
I know that the IRS and the post office are buying up all the ammo. I know that.
They're buying the ammo.
Yeah, that's why there's like such an ammo shortage, like chronically. Every time it's the a new batch available, all these odd government agencies are buying it.
My father-in-law buys ammo, and they only sell him a little bit of ammo at a time.
Yep.
So he's got to go in like every 2 days and go get a little more.
They don't want you stockpiling. They want you to just have enough just to go to the range, get your fix.
Yeah, I was shocked that they limited how much you could buy. He's like, all right, I guess I got to come back tomorrow and drive 30, 40 minutes back. Got what he needed eventually. Why'd they have to make it a pain in his ass, though? What else do they do that with?
Everything, dude. Everything's meant for suffering. By the way, I like the local people making chicken and stuff. I I gotta stop buying it. They're pumping too much water into it. Every time it cooks up,
Oh, yeah, dude.
it's tough.
Never. Dude, you ever buy the freezer ones? Oh, my God. You get these big hunks. They're already kind of they're like pre cooked in a bag, dude. You microwave them or you put them in the oven. Dude, they dry out to nothing, dude. It's crazy. And if you microwave them just like what they're supposed to, they'll be soggy. And they got chunks of fat in them. Disgusting. Not a fan of that. Not a fan of that.
Yeah, you gotta buy organic now to get a good.
Even the rotisserie chickens you get, which are pretty delicious, by the way, at the grocery store,
Yeah,
they inject those full of fat and sodium. Like it's crazy. Look at the nutrition value on it if you're ever interested.
at least they're At
It's
least they're
wild.
tender. You know.
No, they're good. They taste great. Yeah, at least it's worth it. I'm with you there.
But yeah, man, like you get some just a deli packed chicken from the grocery store, trash.
So what's up? Are we rioting over Balenciaga or not? That's what I really called about today.
Man, I really haven't went down that rabbit hole. I mean, I just assume it's all in the same category as all the other stuff. The Epstein stuff. I mean, it's their shit, dude. It's what they're into. I don't know. If people don't wake up to that, then whatever. These people hate kids anyway, so take care of your own kid. I don't know how anybody would send their kid into public schooling anymore. Holy shit.
Quiet that phone call. Yeah, it's something I'm stressed about. We're in a pretty good area though, so Think we'll be all
That's
right.
what everybody says. Oh yeah, you're in a great area. Next thing you know, you find out the teacher's been camming the girls' dressing room. Had that happen locally.
Is that right?
Yeah,
Oh my God.
he was a pervert. But yeah, whatever. What can you do?
I guess go to the ammo store. Loop things back around.
Yeah, you just can't shoot your bullets, dude. You gotta be disciplined. Saw this thing that you can. There's this thing they buy that you can put in your gun that you can pull the trigger and it does all this like gun-like shit, but it's a laser and it's like playing duck. It turns your gun into a duck hunt gun, basically.
It's like when you get a vasectomy, bro.
Yeah, shooting blanks.
Shooting blanks, 100%.
So there's that. I don't know, man. I'm ready to stop talking about this kind of shit, though. I unfollowed Cernovich yesterday, finally.
I never got into following any of the conspiracy theorist types or the radical thinker types. I don't want it polluting my brain.
Yeah, he's in a Category 5 whirlwind right now. He's struggling.
What's he on about right now?
Um, all he's like real butthurt over Trump, but I think it goes back to something behind the scenes. I think he was wanting to be like a campaign advisor type, and I'm thinking he got shot down.
He wanted to jump in on that Breitbart, or is that the guy's name? Who's the guy that they don't like?
Bannon, Bannon,
Yeah, he wanted to be
yeah.
the next Bannon or something.
Well, he's buddies with Bannon. I'm pretty sure Bannon was feeding him inside info into the White House, and which I like Bannon pretty good. I mean, if you sit down and listen to him talk, like what are you disagreeing with, left or right? Like if you listen to him talk, literally there's nothing to disagree with him about. Seriously.
I don't never follow him, so I don't know. I know the left people don't like him.
Yeah.
They were
Well.
saying his face was bleeding, right? One of those hearings, his face was
Yeah.
all bleeding.
He's got that subheretic keratosis or whatever it is. Just he's got moles, dude. He's obviously a drinker or was. But yeah, I think something went on there. And also Cerno and Bannon and Posobiec, they're the ones that were all pushing for the lockdown, right? Because early on the Democrats were against the lockdown. Then I think they had the epiphany they could make it rain ballots. So they were like, yeah. Let's lock down permanently. And here we are. So those idiots push for lockdown. You can never give the government more power. Dude. You give it to them, they're going to take it, and they're not going to give it back.
That's the worst thing. Like, if you look at the mechanism of, look at the actual mechanism that's going on with it, with any entity, any me and you. Okay, we want more power, right? Like we either entropy or we expand. To expand, you have more power. Entropy is on the death track, right? So you got to grow. If it's a business or if it's anything, you got to step outside the norm that you're doing to grow. Unless just the market's getting pumped full of money, then obviously everything grows because everything goes up, eventually. But um, a big government, like if you look at what they were doing with the Twitter things, what is the actual mechanism happening when you go in and say, delete this person's voice, delete their tweet? I don't like what they're going to say.
Well, they're
What
not
that,
supposed to be able to do that. Though. That
I know, I
on the
know, I
books,
know.
that's a First Amendment
Yeah,
violation
of course, right?
because it's
But
government doing
correct. I'm not arguing that, but I'm saying, why does it do that? What is the mechanism? It's the system trying to preserve its power. It doesn't want to be challenged of its power. It wants to stay big and grow bigger, right? It's an illegal preventative measure in that case, but it is a the system is only money. It's only power grab. which is money, which is influence, which leads back to money, or like it's the system trying to protect itself, essentially. Um, this is why people lie. This is it's just bad. It's no one listening to their inner voice. I think if we're all individually, we have moral law in our brains, or what's fair, or call it God, or whatever you want to call it. You got to be an individual to listen to that. That's why America's great, and that it's founded on the individual, because the individual has to, because the second it's me and my brother, or me and my brother's hanging out, and my brother does something wrong and he's about to get beat up, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to back my brother because he's part of my little circle. I don't want my circle entropying. I want it growing. So, and I want to protect it. So now I'm acting against my inner voice, against my better judgment, for the sake of the circle, because I've got ties
Well,
and bonds
entropy,
and
that
friends.
the second law of thermodynamics, that's true. That's why the system's acting like it is. Because all systems, decay over time. I mean that, and the founding fathers knew that. They were like, you're going to have to overthrow this shit every now and again.
Well, more importantly than that, because I had a government teacher say this, there's also a country music historian. He's dead now, forget his name. But he said right off the bat in our government class in college, he said, all 13 constitutions, 13 colonies, you know what that one thing they started with and had all in common? They mentioned God. He said, but that was why though, because you have to aspire to more than what the system is, right? You have to have an outside source of hierarchy. We can say you can do it on your own, but in the real world right now, you know, look at all the problems of people.
That's that Kurt Godel shit, though. The the strange loops, and there's truths that can be known outside of the system.
You just need, you can't put the piece of bread in a plastic bag and seal it; it'll die. You got to have the air, the light, have all that back, so I can eat that bread.
I want that butter, bro. Give me that butter.
My wife loves butter bread. She's like a butter freak.
I used to hate buttered bread when I was a kid, dude. I don't know, something about it. Like I was saying in the text the other day, everything I hated when I was younger, I love now, dude. So I need to hit me up some. Uh, was that shit
So,
Joe was talking about? Fruit loaf, bread loaf. I don't know.
oh,
Fruitcake,
fruit
fruitcake.
cake.
Yeah, yeah. Give me that fruitcake, bro. I bet I'd eat that shit up good right
No, I'm on, like, obviously. I mean, this is a turn probably happened 10 years ago, but I'm back on them almond joys. I try to give my kid almond joys. They hate them. I remember
now. Oh
being
yeah,
there.
coconut is young kids ain't on that train at all, dude. Me, I love coconut. Yeah, Gordon. Uh, every day after school, I'd have to talk with my daughter for an hour about school and all that, and it was all just deprogramming her from the shit she was learning at school. So she turned out all right, but man, I couldn't imagine going up against the ghouls they have teaching now.
I just don't. Why don't they teach? Why don't they teach the real, like, real stuff? Like how to manage your bank accounts and money. Like, it should be everything.
That's
How to
the
how to invest.
that's
How
the
to.
what you call it, the knowledge gap, right? So if you're dumb and they're dumbing you down, you're not a threat to the system, right? So they maintain power. That's why whenever Kickstarter first started, that my first thought was, oh, dude, this is where we need to be. This is incredible. We'll have all these inventions. The American inventor is back, you know. But so far that hadn't really manifest, right?
Well, I do think, like, I always kept thinking, or what I do think, it's the age of the entrepreneur. Like, it's the age of the small business is what's going to happen, because all the standard jobs are going to be automated. But, just a little bit in the future, right? Even the art jobs could, but you got to be. So what are we going to have? More time. Let's say we have that perfect society where no one has to work. Well, everyone's going to be consuming media. So you want to be in the creative field, and you want, like, what I'm assuming is being extra creative, and it's not like drawing or writing literally, but it's like the creativity in your YouTube video. Like this is trash right now, right? But if we had fucking graphics and we're hanging out and we had big hats on and whatever to be entertaining or whatever's pushing the envelope compared to the next person to stand out, like that's where you're going to separate from the pack, you know? And how you splice this information together. Like you can watch the same documentary for 15 crime YouTube channels, but there is a quality gap between one and the other, and that quality is going to matter at some
Well,
point, you
I
know.
think, well, like, well, what about this? What about an avatar that is just reading off those AI prompts? You know what I mean? I mean, people would watch that. So you could start up a channel with an avatar reading, the voice match, and just do like the PDF reader how it has the voice in it.
They already have those. There's a channels on that just read Reddit posts and 4chan posts for you, and the guy puts them on YouTube. And it's like, hello, my name is so and so. One time at the doctor's office, I shit my pants, you know. But it'll be like crazy confessions found on Reddit or crazy confessions found
Hmm.
on 4chan, like that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So that's where we're at, and there are people that will be into that sort of thing. And I'm okay with that. I really am. I see where my future is going to be. I just got to keep doing what I'm doing because that's the main thing, dude. People don't want to fucking work. And if I'm out here working, then I got the advantage. And there are those that do and those that do not. And I'm going to be somebody that does.
Probably the next best skill or the best skill in the future is going to be how you present information, like who can make the best PowerPoints, basically.
Well, I'm curious. Like, I've had this idea for a while. Like, and I don't even think you need an AI. You just need proper code to feed newspaper articles into the code, and it's just going to find all the logical fallacies and contradictions, right? Well, here's what you need. Here's what's obvious lately, and we were laughing a little bit about it because of Kanye. He didn't he like when he left Timcast, like he didn't even argue his point. He just made his claim and left, right? And if you see, like, they got rid of comment sections on newspapers and websites and stuff like that. Um, winning a
That feels
win.
so empty when I read an article and I go click down it
Hey,
and the YouTube thing is off or the channel, like woo, makes me furious, dude. Like I want to have the interaction and I want to hear people if they're thinking what I'm thinking or if they're thinking something different, you know,
well,
like
they
and I
they they were
understand.
they were getting mobbed, dude. They were getting destroyed, so they got rid of it. But furthermore, point I was trying to make is logic doesn't win arguments. People are past that, so I don't know. You just got to be bombastic, make your point, act like the winner, and you fucking won. Seriously. Just keep insisting that you won and you win, bro.
Still makes me angry.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like it, but we're in a non-truth world right now, so the truth is actually frowned upon.
Yeah, I'm in fantasy football leagues, you know, and they have these message boards for those. And everyone's just like, just sit this trash. This guy's a bum. This guy's a wash. This guy's this. Somebody will come in with like a real thing. He'll be like, against this defense, they average 12 average slot wide receiver gets 7 point so targets, blah blah blah, and do every response. You know, they'll go on and tell you why it's a good decision or bad decision, just being helpful. And everyone goes like, "Stop reading instantly, loser. What's your problem?" They come with a lot of hate, dude. Nobody wants truth and knowledge, bro. You
Dude,
know.
so yesterday, let me go to my Twitter here real quick. I'll read this shit to you. This is so stupid. Fucking reply guys, dude. I swear to God. So the Weasel, do you know who the Weasel is on YouTube? He reviews and breaks down MMA fights.
No, no, I follow a lot of. I might have heard his stuff because I follow a lot of that stuff, but
I
I don't know.
100% you've seen his stuff if you if you watch any MMA breakdowns on YouTube.
He'll
If
be talking about like making the extra step, and he does this to duck his shoulder, like that kind of breakdown.
yeah,
Yeah, okay, okay, but yeah, I've seen those types, but
a lot like the Robin Black guy. I know you've seen him.
yeah.
Um, so the Weasel says, just found out Wonder Boy watches my breakdowns, and I can't sit down. It's different when you learn so much from watching someone than they notice your work, right? So, an MMA fighter, Wonder Boy, who's like really fucking good, fought for the title twice.
And
Um,
he's known as like one of the most technical fighters
yeah,
uh, in MMA. Yeah,
he is a karate master.
yeah, he's American Ninja.
So I replied to the Weasel. I said, I'd imagine any fighter looking to win would watch. You might catch something they didn't, right? And then this guy's like, you're joking, right? They're professional fighters. He isn't. If he is this god tier fight tactician, why isn't he fighting professionally? Or why isn't he coaching professionally? Right?
You're
So,
stuck. That's stuck in your crawl. Just
mhm.
like you piece of shit. You know.
And I just said, so my point was professional fighters tend to look at stuff in orthodox ways. So if you got this weasel that's outside the system, he's looking at it from an outside the box perspective and might reveal something that they're blind to. And then the guy was like, no one even knows who he is. Literally, he's talking about Wonder Boy liking him. Wonder Boy actually was tweeting at him. And this dweeb here is like, no one even knows who he is. He could be some 300-pound paraplegic for all we know. I watch his videos for entertainment, but I take his analysis with a grain of salt because
Oh,
he has no credentials. I respect current and ex fighters who break down fights. And then this other guy's like, yeah, I don't know why people think Weasel is some sort of god. And this guy's like, oh my god, he's just an MMA fan like the rest of us. If you slow down the videos frame by frame, you'd pick out a bunch of shit too. And I said, you dweebs are arguing about shit in your own imagination.
dude, that's why they like create this whole narrative,
Yeah, dude, they
and
created
and
this
and
entire
and,
narrative that
and
isn't
then they like self-insulate against it. I watch it because I'm a fan, not because this content's good.
the case.
And what do you think these like? If you ever watch like the camps, like the videos of these guys in camp, what do you think they're doing? They're literally watching video and finding holes in games to figure out how to make the right strike or what kind of sidestep. You
I
know what
mean,
I mean?
but people made
Like,
fun of Connor for bringing in that movement coach, but
yeah, the movement coach. There was one guy who said, oh, it was I believe it was
Nate said they're playing touch button the park. Remember?
no, no, no. There was one guy who said he learned to move off of the fucking UFC video game because they got his tendencies
Oh yeah,
pared
yeah,
down.
yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah.
They're like, get out of here. So like, it's clearly got some worth, and these little clowns they just want to be mean. That's the problem, dude. If that guy was in front of you and you said, "Oh, I like this thing," then no one would have acted that way. They got to be ugly.
Well, my first reply to him was cool, and then this other guy comes in. I don't know why you're acting like he's a god. You know.
Oh, just putting words in your mouth, just being little assholes, dude. God.
Yeah, if he was in front of me, I'd definitely choke him out.
Tommy, I'm sorry you had to go through that. You
Repl-
didn't deserve that.
reply guys, dude, cannot stand them. The actually guys.
Oh man, that's like the level. So like, and when you're 14, as my nephew was here, you're like the preemptively over it, right? Like they're like,
Yeah.
mom wants me to do this. You want to put on a decent shirt for church. There's like preemptively over everything, like no matter what you say. And then once they get a little information in their 20s, they're like the actually smug turds, none of which ever get laid or get the girl, by the way. Just complete abject losers. Actually.
And I was that way at one point. I admit it. It's just awful.
It's ugly, dude.
Yeah.
Bottom line, it's ugly.
Yeah, those are ugly, ugly people that were replying to me. Meanwhile, Wonder Boy is complimenting Weasel, saying, "Keep up the good work." I mean, even their own logic fails, dude. Like, how are they qualified if they're not professional fighters to know what a professional fighter should and shouldn't be watching? You know what I mean? If you want to get, that's what I'm getting at, dude. If you want to get down and dirty with logic, the kid can do that. I read those 42 logical fallacies nonstop for years. Guess what? Nobody gives a fuck. You can know all the fucking logical fallacies in the world. Nobody gives a fuck.
It won't matter because the internet is a, like I call it, a female snake brain.
Yeah.
It's all female snake brain. Twitter, female snake brain. Meaning that if if we were cavemen and women in caves, man has the excess power. He's got the excess physical stuff. They need you to go pick up the rocks. The women are in the cave. The women gotta gossip because they gotta poison you to kill you. They gotta ruin your reputation to kill you. They gotta do all the sidestep and not non-direct thing to kill you, right? Or to get you to go pick up that rock, right? Like, oh, that other monkey over there is stronger than you. Oh, I guess I gotta go prove him wrong, right? Whatever manipulation it is. But the entire framework of Twitter is let me retweet this and frame it in a way that's beneficial to me, and it's always that beneficial to my cause, to my outlook, and frame this person. You literally frame it because you retweet it and you get to then you put a preposition or something in front of what the actual person said out of context from what their line of thinking was to frame them up, and it's just like, and then the system rewards that. Oh, you did this, and then all the other people come in, and it just activates the whole. I call it a female hive mind because everything that's not the individual is the hive mind. I guess I should stop calling it female because it has negative connotations to people who want to apply that. But I don't mean it as negative. But
No, you're
I don't
just
know.
looking at the fucking point and counterpoint, dude. The dialectic, the what is that? Polarity.
Back to hermetics. The universe is female and male. Everything has its opposites. All that stuff. And like I guess I don't even want to go down this path, but like in a household, you have and not that it's gendered, but there's just a positive and a negative charge. It's the wife and the male. They're both needed. The overbearing father will push his kids out too soon into the world, make them too tough and mean. Then they're too mean for the world. They end up in jail. They kill someone. They kill themselves. The overbearing mother will smother you. She won't ever let you leave the house. You'll be there till you're 40 with a man beard and not ever applying yourself. The system needs both of those things. Now, you can have one person, a good mom or a good dad, can embody both, but that just means that they're coming out of one entity. But every system is like that. And I just think that, like, the YouTube versus Twitter debate is this. YouTube, you have to pretty much be seen. That's like a man steps up in front of the crowd of people and says, I'm the guy, I'm the Michael Jordan, everyone's looking at you. Well, everyone's waiting for you to win or fail, and if you win, you're the champion, you're the Michael Jordan. If you fail, you're the guy who stepped out and stumbled, everyone laughs. But if you're the winner, you expand the actual system, right? But then the overbearing female will create entropy in the system. Like, does that make sense or no? Does that sound like crazy talk?
No, no, you good. Keep going. Keep going, hippie.
Is it hippie? I just think it's normal.
Yeah, dude. Why are you taking this? Why are you taking it like a bitch, dude? I'm just joking. Damn.
I'm sensitive about this. I don't want to go on a rant about stuff I think about all the time and no one cares about it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, it's hard. Well, I mean, hey, we got time. Just expand on it or don't. You know what I mean?
Well, I think that, so what I think is, without adding your own negative connotations to male or female, and knowing that they both have value, and knowing that, like, yes, of course. Why do I have to clarify things? I hate this. Yes,
Yeah, yeah.
yes, of course, a female can be more masculine in this arena. Yes, of course, a male can be more feminine in this arena. But in general, those two energies, one is looking for security, and one is looking for adventure and expansion. And like Jordan Peterson talks about this, that people love it when somebody can get on the edge, which is order and chaos, right? Your house is order or chaos. If they can go to the edge of the order to expand the system and actually control it. So he brings up surfing, which is pure chaotic water, but someone can get on the edge, the literal edge, and you can't take your eyes off someone riding a big wave who's in control because they are on the brink of disaster of going too far, right? It's kind of like I talked about this with you the other day where Kanye completely went off the edge and killed himself, right, with his rants. But then Jade Chappelle got on and made it way more palatable for the general public because he was
And
also making fun of Trump,
and
also
kind
making
and
fun of this.
kinda said the same thing.
What's that?
And kinda was saying the same thing.
Yeah, he's I mean in his own way, but he was
Definitely
he
more of a wordsmith.
it was also risky. It was a risky bit, it probably did hurt him, but he rode that wave and you could tell he was cutting back because he'd be like, did he steal those documents? Why did he steal those documents? Extra work for him or whatever he was saying. He was cutting back to give credit to the other side. It's like that compromise you're going to need to make when you do expand. Like, say you want to expand your household. Well, I'll do this, but the wife needs you to do X, Y, and Z to make her feel secure.
Yeah,
And this is
that's why I'm playing fucking Santa Claus today for a bunch.
exactly. Like you got to make some compromises to do, and it's just like that. But you can watch that in the physical world all the time. And back to Twitter and YouTube, like I don't think it's any surprise that YouTube is 80% male and Twitter is 80% female because if you are saying the thing, you are the man in the picture saying the thing. Like if you're the monkey in the cave and you come out and you say we need to go this way, you've got to step out and be examined by everybody and be looked up and down and be forthright.
Show your
Uh,
face.
Correct. You got to stand it. You say, okay, pick me, coach. Okay, pick me. You can go out there and see what you can do. Fail, and you're going to go back to the bench. You're going to get cut from the team. Win, and then all of a sudden, okay, well, I'm building my game plan around you from now on because you know something I don't, right? You've expanded the system. You expanded the team. Okay, Twitter requires that. I mean, YouTube requires that. It's visual, and it's audio, and it's confidence. Okay, the other way is uh, I'll retweet this to kind of share it, but not really directly at me. I'll reframe this. It's split tongue speak. It's all like half truths and not everything is, but a lot of it is
Or
limiting.
disingenuous takes, you know.
But that doesn't mean that the female side of it is a disingenuous. Like we like the manly side because we're men, but how a woman gets her man to move and operate is also an important thing. Like none of it's you can't look at any of it as a negative, and that's the problem with speaking in these terms. Because I talk to my wife about it, she'd be like, "Oh, you hate women. I fucking hate you." Okay, cool. You know what I mean? I just wanted to have a conversation, but all right. But if you start looking at everything like that, or it doesn't have to be that, you can instead of calling it male and female, you can call it chaos or order or security or freedom. And basically, you watch people give up their freedoms for more security. And I would say that is the male take. Whereas a person who's going to run out into the wild on their own, give me a knife, let me go across go across the ocean in unknown territory and build a land for myself. That's the system expanding. That's overtly male, or overtly chaos. But then eventually, if that's why the winner leads because you go to that point, the Michael Jordan or whatever, and you're like, oh, that's how I need to play. That's how I need to be. So then the whole system starts copying it and expands the whole system. And now once that's comfortable, some other person's going to show up. Kobe Bryant, he kind of expands on the system, and then someone shows up that's a complete oddball like White Chocolate, Jason Williams, who's throwing elbow passes off his back, and you're like, what is that guy in the system? Like, and then he can do it at the professional level, which is like, whoa, can we actually do that? You actually can't. Only he could. Some guys are just one of ones. But
Like
other,
Curry just deciding to shoot 3-pointers literally from
yeah, just
everywhere on the court.
yeah, but actually, so the system did upgrade because then it became D&3. Everyone was looking for those big shooters. They're drafting those shooters. Like literally, the whole system, the NBA. Well, they said, well, the NBA, the game's changing. Well, no crap, because all the big men, the Hakeems, the Yaos, the Shaqs, the Patrick Ewings, all those guys are gone, and a different way of thinking showed up, like a different way of thinking, and it probably started with the hybrid of Dirk where Dirk was like, I'm just gonna lift my leg up and shoot these threes on you. I'm gonna be that big guy that can shoot. Everyone's like, you know what? Let's just go. Let's just all shoot. Like, what are we doing here? Like we wasted this guy's 7 foot tall frame. Like, go ahead, everyone
And
jack some of
then
these.
everything's geared toward that, and then the old way can come back in
Oh, then the old way
and
comes
win
back in.
again, bro.
Yep, then the old way. So this is the same thing. Like everything, the pendulum swings back to hermetics, right? And all these were hermetic principles we're talking about. Female and male, everything has its opposites. Then it swings the other way, just like the
Dude,
crazy, just like the.
I'd love for another Shaq to show up, dude. He just like
Oh
fucking
my God, dude! These little 150 pound, 55 pound point guards, and these 6 foot four
well, no,
forwards.
the 7 foot salad eaters, dude, shooting three
Yeah, yeah,
pointers.
yeah. Get
Oh
out of here, dude. They would just go flying everywhere. Oh man. But yeah, so like every system, then it'll swing back, and then it swings back to something else. Like you see in the NFL all the time, you have these crazy offenses, and then all of a sudden they'll go back to pure defense and running, with the old bread and butter. And there's always a team that can do it, like every year that can do that. It's just interesting that every system swings, and in politics, or not politics, and censorship, you definitely see, um, you definitely see like the Christians, I guess in my lifetime in the 80s, were the ones wanting censoring books, and now, um,
that's the other side, right?
now it's the other side. They're like, they become the other side. Like it's almost like,
The
but
Pac-Man.
it
That's
it
what I say. The Pac-Man, dude. He goes off one side of the board, he comes back on the other side of the board. Dude.
yeah, yeah. Or like politics being not one side the other. It's a horseshoe. Eventually, you just become the other side. It just meets in the middle. It's freaking crazy, dude. It's just crazy that that's how systems work. And once you learn systems,
It takes
and
a lot of the stress out of it.
yeah, because you can just sit back and watch the chaos of it.
Yeah, you're
And
just
then
like,
some of
well,
those
this is
great,
what's happening.
yeah, this is what's happening now. And then if you're in a business, you can kind of ride the wave. You can be like, oh, this is the thing now. This is the thing now. This is the thing now. And you can almost tell what's going to happen. You know, like if you look at it like that.
Like the
It,
woke stuff is going away, obviously, for right now. It had a good, what, 8 year run, 2012, or, well, 10-year run, 2012 till now, right?
yeah. So now you go in with your apologies if you were doing the woke stuff, and you say, oh, I never really liked it. I felt forced to. I actually didn't agree with it. And then you catch the other wave now. You Tim Pull it. You know what I mean?
I'm talking about that fence sitter.
Hey, I think fence sitting has a lot of value. Nobody knows where you stand, and you don't stand anywhere. You just analyze stuff. We're artists. That's all we do all day is analyze. Just analyze.
Yeah, I'm on the fence right now. Well, I think we've reached the end. We've gone a pretty good while.
That's it. We're done. Did you get your
Yeah,
work? Did you get any drawing done?
yeah. I got one panel done and a half.
I'll show you what I. Oh shit! There goes my whiteout.
Uh oh.
It's Doc Martens Bleed Proof Pro White.
Yeah, I was debating going putting some of that in my eyebrows for when I play Santa.
You'll never get it out. The way it cakes into my brushes, dude. You'll be having to shave them out.
Oh, dude, going into the new year with no eyebrows. Drink free 23, dude. You should do it with me. Got to get that exercise bike too.
I don't like drinking at the house anyway. I only go out every now and then. I probably have drinks once every 2 months at this point.
I'm working on the Mega Storm Graveyard Shift. I don't know how well it's gonna show up. I would let me flash a quick little dude. It's see, I'm on my laptop camera, so the resolution is like 720p. You're not gonna be able to make out any of this, or I'd show it. Some of my little tiny figures I've been drawing. We're talking like hundreds of figures in a panel, dude. Bananas.
John's got Tommy working, putting in work.
Hey, Phil, we were just talking about fruitcakes.
Is Phil on? Just let Phil jump in. Let's talk to
He's
Phil.
in the chat. He doesn't have. Here's what he's gonna say. I don't have Skype. Next time I'll set it up with StreamYard and I'll send the link to everybody. Since it's 720p anyway, who gives a fuck, right? That shit's overpriced. It's like $15, $20 a month for the full version.
For what? For a StreamYard?
Yeah, maybe you should buy it. You should buy it for me. I got too many bills right now. What do you think?
Me or are you talking to Phil?
I'm talking to you. Phil got to send me money. Phil,
I was
send me
gonna. I was gonna say. I thought you were making a little
send me some money, Phil.
jab at Phil. Didn't Phil saw some of your artwork and never mail it out?
Oh, I gotta mail it out. That's on me. I'm gonna throw in some extra pages for whoever bought it though. I guess I'm gonna give them some brand pages, maybe even some of the newer stuff. But I'll have to tell them they can't show it. Do I trust these people? I don't know.
No, you can't. You can't send the new stuff. You send some layouts.
Yeah, true, true.
You can't trust these people.
Um, well, I'm about to get off, Phil. But next time.
Wait. What do you mean you're about to get off? Phil wants to get on. Let's stay on.
No, dude, it's 3 o'clock. I gotta go eat a little something, then put on my Santa outfit.
We gotta blow your gut ups a little bit.
Yeah,
Get in character.
yeah, I gotta go in there and eat some bread. Eat some hamburger buns with a shitload of butter on it. Anyway, all right, we'll see you guys next time. I'll have the drawing set up where I can draw and you guys can see it. And maybe we'll talk about some pop culture shit instead of the stuff Nick and I talked about today. Maybe, if you're lucky.